Vapi has been a game changer at my agency. I went from charging anywhere from $1,000, $2,000 for a chatbot, a workflow automation, to charging $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, even $132,000 per year contracts, all because of Vapi. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mani and I have been in tech for over 15 years now. And I have been working with AI for over 6 years, and I have been running my AI agency for the past 15 months. You can follow along my journey on YouTube. I started posting 14 months ago. And if you want to learn my latest deal that I mentioned, $132,000 contract, I break this down in this video with proof. And if you want to learn more about me, you can go to my LinkedIn. And in this video, we are going to learn all about Vapi. And when I go to YouTube, I learned a lot on YouTube following the tutorials on Vapi when I was starting out. But a lot has changed from back when we started 5 months ago on Vapi and today. And most of the tutorials are fairly outdated. There are definitely some changes. UI looks completely different, the API reference. So in this video, I want to provide, starting from the basics and work our way up till the advanced projects. Some of the projects I discussed in this is we charge client $5,000, $6,000 for the whole build. We integrate the chatbot, we integrate the voice assistant with GoHighLevel also. So we will start off with Vapi basics. In the basics, we talk about the compliance, which is huge. Most people ignore compliance, data security. I have a master's degree in cybersecurity, so we do care a lot about data compliance security at my agency. So we discuss how to build AI voice assistants on the front end, and we discuss the terms and settings that you need to be aware of when you are making these assistants. And these settings can be useful both in the front end and even if you are making dynamic assistants on make.com, which you will see in this tutorial. Knowing these settings is really important. We will discuss static and or persistent assistants. These are assistants where static and dynamic, the main difference between two is just as how it sounds. Static is really hard coded, it follows the same message. When someone calls, hey, how are you doing, or what is your name, the usual flow. But in dynamic assistant, now we have a way to program that first, starting from the first message, hey, is this John? Now AI would be able to identify the callers, or if we are linking this up with a form funnel or even our CRM, we have a way to identify callers, whether it's an inbound call or an outbound call. So dynamic assistance is a huge, you must be, any service that you provide, whether that's local business, real estate, coaches, agencies, dynamic assistance is a must. So we talk about inbound calls and outbound calls, how to get phone numbers for these, whether that's on Tulio or buying phone numbers on Vapi, how to link that to an outbound caller or an inbound calls, and also a static assistant and dynamic assistant. We will discuss all of that. And we have a range of tutorials that we cover. As you can realize, this is a pretty long video, and you will find timestamps for each of these tutorials. So feel free to jump to the tutorial that makes most sense for you if you already have some basic knowledge about Vapi. But I suggest bookmark this, come back to this tutorial over and over again and watch the whole thing for sure, because we will use elements from the basic section in the first project and terms that we use in the static assistant the first project in the second one. So there is definitely that connection. It might not make sense going to that third portion all of when you are just beginning. Be mindful of that. If you are lost, always go back and watch the whole thing again. I will quickly run you through what are all the tutorials or chapters we are going to cover. The first one would be basic static assistants that we make on the front end. Second, we have basic dynamic assistant where we connect our assistant to Google Sheet, and every time AI calls a phone number, the first message would be their first name. Hey, is this John? So we will do that for the basic dynamic assistant. Next, we will learn how to link phone numbers, buy phone numbers, and add them to both inbound and outbound, both for static and dynamic assistants. Next, Vapi on website. We will deploy one of these assistants that we created on a website with a button on a Webflow. So we will see how to embed the HTML code. So I show that on Webflow, but you can use it on any website of your choice, whether that's Wix, whether that's Squarespace, WordPress, works for everything in the same way. The next project, this is the project that we charged over $6,000 for. It is a lead nurturing AI voice assistant. We will integrate this assistant with GoHighLevel, a CRM, where every time a user books for a webinar or an in-person event or a call, what happens is AI will call them and make sure they are attending, whether they are attending the call or whether they are attending the webinar, whatever the script that we choose. And once they say yes, it will update the status, add a new tag in the CRM. If they don't answer or if they say no, it will alert one of the team members to follow up. So it is a great project to get you started on how to really use Vapi. In addition to, this is a real world application. That's what I've been meaning to say. We will talk about Vapi tools also. Vapi out of the box, don't really know what the time is. Its knowledge is cut off at 2003 or something. So we will add tools so that Vapi knows the exact time, and we will also see and discuss how we can add appointment booking capabilities for Vapi. And then we will talk about a social media content generation system where you will have a quick conversation with Vapi. Once the call is done, a Facebook post is created or a LinkedIn post is created. So based on voice interactions, how to create content. That is one of the projects. And finally, we have AI call center, which is Vapi Squads. Vapi Squads is all about, you have multiple assistants under the main assistant. These multiple assistants are great for people who has multiple locations. Let's say a dentist hired you to build them an AI voice agent, but they have 3 different locations and 3 different areas: east side, west side, downtown, and it is too confusing for one AI to handle all of that. With squads, you can create Alex for east side, John for west side, and Emma for downtown. Now you have 3 different assistants, and whenever someone says that they need to book an appointment at east side, they'll be routed to Alex. Downtown, Emma. So that's squad, and we will see how to create squads on Vapi. Let's start with Vapi basics. To create an account, head on over to vapi.ai. You will find the link in the description below. And once you're there, I already have an account. So if you don't have one, it's easy to sign up. You can do it with Google or your email. But this is really impressive. What they have done is, you don't have to create an account. You don't have to have nothing. You can go to vapi.ai and try their AI by just clicking here. You can have hour-long conversation if you feel like it. So this is amazing. If you haven't tried any voice AI before, go to vapi.ai and be ready to get your mind blown. So that was my first reaction when I tried this. You can see trusted by companies big and small. There are a lot of companies that use AI. There is ton of applications, as you can see, for inbound, barbershop, dentist. I won't be reading all of this, but inbound, outbound, voice products, and voice internet of things. These are some really good applications, guys. Even if you agencies don't have a specialization just yet, you can take any of this and build a 6-figure agency around this. And Vapi, like I said, made a tremendous difference in my business. So you can read the testimonials. These are some of the awesome tools in AI: DeepGram, Relevance AI, and AI Jason, one of the top creators on AI today and founder of Grok. Everyone had great things to say about Vapi. I won't be going into all of this. They have ton of models. Even if you have a dev background, now you open doors to a completely new dimension in another level. There is a lot of room for customization. They have tools for mobile application development also. There is a JavaScript SDK, Python, all of the stuff if you have a developer background. But for the most part, we are doing everything no code. Even for the stuff that we do on make.com, I will give you step-by-step instruction why you're doing certain things. There won't be instances where I say, okay, just do this, it makes sense in the end. I will give you proper explanation. And there are features where you can bring your own keys for all the tools. For example, OpenAI, Eleven Labs, and DeepGram. And Vapi will only charge you 5 cents a minute, and you would be paying for the LLM costs, the transcription costs, voice costs, whatever it may be. It will make more sense when I'm actually in the dashboard. And this is a cool little feature they have. You can talk to their AI. It is powered by Inkeep. You can basically ask any question that they have in their documentation. They have extensive documentation. Trust me, you won't be able to finish the whole thing even if you wanted to. So whenever you can, ask AI for, instead of trying to figure it out, searching this whole thing, you can talk to their AI and get answer as soon as you can. Quick little hack for you. Go to dashboard. That's where you need to go once you create an account. This is not my actual account. So this is the dashboard that you would see. The analytics, the total number of minutes, number of calls, total money spent, average cost per call. This is a great dashboard for, at least if you are making assistants in your clients' accounts, that if you are not responsible for the whole thing, if all the assistants that are in one account belongs to one client, this is a perfect dashboard on its own. And let's see, overview. This is the overview that you'd see. You can go filter it by day, week, or month. And you have the next one would be assistants. This is where the assistants are, the basic static assistants live. We will first discuss all the terms that you see here on dashboard, and we will go into how to create basic assistant. So, but this is where they live. This is the phone number section. You can buy a number or import a number from Twilio or Vonage. So it's pretty straightforward. You will find Twilio account SID, auth token, and label, and import from Twilio. What I realized, or people that have been messaging me facing errors with Twilio import, is for Twilio they give you a $10 credit when you sign up. But the problem with that is you can only use that credit towards verified phone numbers. Let's say you verified one of your personal phone numbers. You can still receive calls to that phone number, SMS to that phone number, but that's about it. If you want to send messages to other people or your friend's phone or someone else or a customer, they won't let you. You have to add at least a $20 top up in order to use these voice calls and SMS features for numbers that are not verified. So it's better to just buy a number for $2 a month on Vapi. It's way, it worked for me really well. There are challenges. For example, if you are building an assistant that has SMS capabilities, and if you want to send a message after the call or during the call to the phone number, and you want to use same number that called the user or your client, if the SMS has to be sent from that phone number, then you have to opt for Tulio. But if you don't really care, the phone number that they receive the call on and receive an SMS on, if it's okay to be different, you can go ahead and buy Vapi phone number. So that's for phone numbers. Files, this is the knowledge base. This is where if you want your AI to remember certain details. We used to, back when we started, we did not have knowledge base for Vapi. We were trying to cramp everything in the prompt section, and that made prompts unusually long, and when we don't do that, AI would hallucinate and say something really crazy that is not true about the client. But ever since they implemented knowledge base, it has been really helpful. So knowledge base, you can choose any kind of files and upload them. Next up, we have tools section. Previously, Vapi had functions. Functions were huge. You can call functions mid-call, all of the good stuff. But they also implemented tools when they had functions, but now functions is deprecated and moved everything to tools. What they say about tools are functions you make that can be utilized by your assistants in calls. You can connect external automation tools like Make, GoHighLevel, or custom tools for assistants to use. Yeah, we will discuss tool creation during this tutorial, and there is an easy way to basically connect your make.com and see all your automations here so that they can be used in Vapi. I will show you how to do that. Next up, we have blogs. This is something, it's an alpha version, not even in the beta. So we won't be covering about this in this tutorial, but in future for sure. If you don't know what conversational pathways is, it's a Bland does it really well. So if you search conversational pathways, blocks is similar to that, and we will cover this in future versions when the beta or the actual version is out. Then we have squads. Like I said, the east side, west side, and downtown locations for a dentist office. This can be the appointment settings or even the frequently asked questions about each location. If we can have a separation between them and AI being able to identify which location the customer or the caller is talking about and being able to route to that assistant is a huge value add for a business, and that's where squads come in, and we will discuss that. Voice library is useful for both the static assistants and dynamic assistants. For static assistants, you can see everything, but for the dynamic assistants, the number of choices that would show up in the API reference when we are building our HTTP requests is limited, but you can basically use any voice that you see on the front end by copying the ID. I will show how to do that when we are actually at that step. But for now, know that this is a voice library and there are a ton of voice providers here. Cartesia is most affordable one right now, and Azure is also an affordable solution, but Eleven Labs is the top voice provider in my opinion, and Play HD is also really good. If your client doesn't mind spending 18 cents a minute, 19 cents a minute, Eleven Labs, Play HD, they are great choices to go. So call logs, all the calls will be recorded, whether that's dynamic assistant or static assistant. If we are calling a phone number, you would see customer phone numbers, all of the stuff. Every call using, whether it's using your API or whether it's using front end, it will be recorded and will be showed in this call logs. So that concludes what you see on the front end. Now let's build a basic static assistant on Vapi front end. So we were in the dashboard, and this is what you would see. The overview is what you would see when you log in. Go to assistants. To create a new assistant, click on this button that you see here. You can have a blank template and start from scratch. But if you are using Vapi for the first time, I would recommend picking any of these four: appointment setter, customer support, inbound Q&A, or game NPC. Let's select customer support for our example. Create an assistant, and this will create Ava, and you will see a basic assistant is created with a default setting, nothing much. And this is the cost with the current configuration, 9 cents a minute. This is not accurate by any means. These calculations are estimates. So sometimes it can be higher, it can be lower. After using this for thousands of minutes, I can say it is definitely the average, like they say. You can go a bit higher, but not too much. Definitely lower in many cases. At least that's what I've seen. And latency, even though it says 700 milliseconds, it is so close to being accurate if you use the right models, that is. But it is notoriously quick, because I say that AI has a tendency to speak within that 700 milliseconds. It's so fast, it's not even 1 second. So don't have to worry about latency there. The first message, this is what the AI would say: hello, this is Ava, how may I assist you today? You can customize this, add your own stuff. So who am I speaking to? You can make AI say that. And these are staged changes. To make any kind of changes, you need to hit publish. Only then the changes would take effect. Some quick settings that you see here: provider, OpenAI. These are the large language models that are being used for the actual conversation. So the way Vapi works is, when the user speaks, the speech to text is being done by DeepGram or any transcription model. Everything that you speak is being transcribed and sent to the AI, and AI will then use an LLM. The providers that you see here: OpenAI, Anyscale, OpenRouter, Perplexity, and they will answer whatever the question is. The response is being generated by that large language model, and the response is then read back to you. That text to speech model is being done by Eleven Labs or Play HD, all the providers on the voice side. So 3 components are really needed. One is a transcription model that's taking your speech to text, and the large language model that work with this text, and text to speech model, for example 11 labs and stuff. So it works in 3 parts. OpenAI, you can see the charge changing whenever you pick a different model. For example, GPT-4o cluster raises the price a little bit, but if you want to go GPT-4 turbo, it goes up even further. So right now I really like GPT-4o cluster for all of the models that we use. We have this nice balance between the type of responses that we get and the costs. So 4o, you cannot go wrong with that. Knowledge base, you can create or add new files. Add new file, choose file. If you have some PDFs about the company or some frequently asked questions that you need to add to the knowledge base, you can do so. Now let me go back to Ava. And temperature is basically the creativity of your large language model. It's okay to leave it at default, but lower the better, so that it won't hallucinate, don't make things up, all that stuff. Max tokens 250. I did not have any trouble using 250 tokens. We are not really having that. So 100 tokens would mean around 75 words. So this is more than enough for each conversation back and forth. Does it make sense? We are not using AI to write articles or speak articles in one long sentence. So 250 is really good. You can have detect emotion, that's good too. We can use some emotion based prompting also in the system prompt. I will turn on this setting for most of my static and dynamic assistants, detect emotion. And like I said, these are just staging the changes. If you leave the page, they will be gone. So always publish when you are going to the next page. See published. We can now go to, from large language model, we are going to transcriber now. In the transcriber, we have DeepGram. So what other providers do we have in addition to DeepGram? We have TalkScriber, we have Gladia. DeepGram is really good. I have used multiple times in the past. Even in my videos from 1 year ago, I've been using DeepGram for a while now. Nova 2 is really good. Standard, you can't go wrong with that. Even if your transcription model makes a bit of mistakes or errors in transcribing some of the parts of the conversation, the backend AI, when we have the end of the call report or the assistants that we use on make.com, will correct that anyway. So you don't really have to worry too much about the transcription on the front end. And the reason I'm covering these options extensively is when we build a dynamic assistant, we will have to do all of this in a HTTP request. So pay attention to this, because we will be using this over and over again in all the projects that we will work on. Voice, we have, like I said, Cartesia is the most affordable one right now. If we go to 11 labs, for example, Sarah, it went up by 5 cents. So it's personal preference, but 11 labs is the best that we have right now. Let client choose. That's what I do, case by case. They pick something they really like, comfortable with. But for my demos, I like using this voice. This is much better than the default one 11 labs chooses. And you can add in voice ID manually. The way to do that is you have to first let me select 11 labs multilingual. If you are trying to add in different languages. If you are making your chatbot in a different language, for example, a French, you would pick this. So for our example, I'm saying 11 Labs Turbo, or you can leave it manual. You can leave it as is. So for the custom voice ID, is what you need to do is you can go to the provider credentials. You need to first add in your 11 Labs API key and go to voice library, and you can add some of the voices of your own. Once you import voice from 11 Labs voice library, if you click on the voice library, it will ask you to sign up, all of that stuff. I won't be covering all of that in this video, but that's how you would do it if you ever want to add your own voice or your client's voice. That's how you would do it. So what else? We are in voice section. That's how you would do it for the voice. And these are some cool settings we have here. Background voice, background sound, we have office, default and off. For some clients, they really prefer to have that office background, but for most clients they don't, because their clients may be in a busy environment as is. Having that office background might actually hinder for people that are receiving calls in a quiet room. It definitely feels good or makes sense to use office background noise, but for most of mine I would either leave it at default or completely off. And input minimum characters, this is the minimum number of characters that will be passed to voice provider. Okay, this helps decides minimum chunk size that is sent to voice provider for voice generation as the LLM tokens are streaming in. And this is a new setting that I'm seeing on the front end. At least I think 10 is the default one. I will not change that for now. So if we do face some kind of errors in future, we can always change it. And Vapi has always been updating stuff. For example, analysis is a new section and functions are now deprecated and we are using tools. So this tutorial might be outdated in a month or two. So for now, I will discuss the settings that have worked best for me and producing best results today, last week, and the most up-to-date info and settings that I have. Filler injection enabled. I don't really like this setting. This determines whether fillers are injected into the model output before inputting to the voice provider. Back channeling enabled, make the bot say words like yeah, etc. And this back channeling may work well on some voices, but some voices are absolutely horrible. It's a terrible experience. All of a sudden, when the conversation is going on, AI would say something like yeah, and on the voice would be amplified twice as the usual sound. It's really bad. So if you don't want to experiment, keep it off. If you do want to try how that sounds, go ahead and do so. Background denosing enabled, filter background noise while the user is talking. This is a good setting to have. Filtering background noise, it is off by default, but I like to enable it in my assistants. You can experiment and see what fits best for your use case, and depending on who your client is, what the end customer would be interacting with. Do they have a lot of background noise? Again, personal preference, case by case. Always experiment with these features. Stability, clarity, similarity, style exaggerations, all of this stuff you can read what they do, and I like to leave it as is the default settings, and I did not face any problems or issues. It is similar to the settings that we discussed earlier. If something feels like it's off, or something feels like that doesn't make sense, you can hover on this info button here, info icon, and you can read about it. But if you still have some question, you can ask AI what is stability and how will that affect. You will probably get this the same answer, but if you want, you can ask AI to, okay, give me an example or expand on that, and you can go from there. Speaker boost, I don't really use that. So that's about voice. We can now go to functions. As you can see, tools are a way to, you don't see functions anymore here. Functions are same as tools, except they follow order syntax as per OpenAI spec. When I try to create a new function, it says functions feature is being deprecated in favor of tools. So I don't have any tools created in this account. We will create one during one of the tutorials, tutorial 3 or 4. But this is the tool section if you want to add any tool. That is, some of the basic tools that we can add is the ability to check the date. Vapi doesn't have that feature currently. Some of the other voice AIs do, but to make Vapi know date, we have to build a tool called check date and build this tool on make.com. And I will show you how to do that in further chapters. Advanced settings, we have HIPAA compliance. Basically, when you turn on HIPAA compliance, recording will be turned off. So I won't be doing that. I want my audio recorded. I haven't used video recording before, but video recording is only possible on web calls. So it has to be, you have to be deploying this on a website or a front end, custom front end, and then you'd be able to record your clients or your clients video. Now we have some quick settings here: pipeline configuration, silence timeout, how long to wait before a call is automatically ended due to inactivity. 10 seconds. I mean, this can be something really important to your client or something really negligible. It all depends on their call volume. And if 10 seconds, if they are placing 1,000 calls a day, 10 seconds is a lot for some people. But if they are only making 50, 60 calls, 10 seconds, they don't really care as much. So it's always case by case in these settings: silence timeout, response delay, LLM request delay. So I strongly suggest you really spend some time, go through all of this. For example, the minimum number of seconds the assistant waits after your user speech before it starts speaking. Some people might be slow and they take a bit of time to complete a sentence, just like how I did there. Now, if the AI is interrupting, if they stopped speaking for half a second or 1 second, it might be a really bad experience. So it's important that while you're building this AI static assistant, at first you need to test that response delay to figure out what the right one is for your audience or for your clients' users. LLM request delay, interruption threshold, maximum duration, maximum number of seconds a call will last. If you are calling someone to confirm a quick appointment or asking them if they would be able to make a call, it's always less than 3 minutes, right? So you don't need that huge time that might add up the costs. So always be mindful about how much you set this number on. And also there is a silence timeout, because if the user is not really interacting with the AI, it would be disconnected anyway. So it's always nice to find a balance. If you think call would only take 5 minutes, add 10 minutes. That wouldn't hurt, but this setting is really important, so work on that. And server URL is for example, if you want a conversation update, or the function call is no longer relevant, but server messages, one thing that I really like in server messages is end of the call report. Once the call is done, you can get an end of the call report where you can get the transcript, the summary, the recording URL, all of that stuff. To capture all of that in make.com and use it into a different program that we would see. We will send it to a CRM. You can send it to your Gmail, wherever you want it to go. End of the call report is a great feature to check, great server message that you can receive. So this server URL is the make webhook. I will show you how to add this in the next chapter there. Okay, voicemail message. Hey, this is Eva. Could you please call me back when you're free? This is really basic. You can customize this to add in your own phone number or any message that you choose to. The voicemail messages have gotten so much better in the past 2 months. Before that, it would not recognize or detect that it's an actual voicemail. It will start having conversation going through the whole script. It was a bad experience, but 2 months ago they have made an update. I think it's more than 1 month ago now. They made an update that made voicemail detection near perfect. It always detects that it's a voicemail if it is voicemail, and leaves a message. Even if you don't specify a voicemail message, it will still leave a message based on the persona that you set or a system prompt that you use. It's really good. End of the call message. This is the message that the assistant will say if it ends the call. Thank you for contacting us. Have a great day. You can customize this as well. Idle messages. I haven't used this feature before. If someone is idle for 10 seconds, 5 seconds, in this case, idle messages, maximum number of times idle message can be spoken during the call, set at 3, good. Idle timeout in seconds before an idle message is spoken, 7.5. You know how we set 10 seconds here? If we change the time over there to 15 seconds, you can select a time between 5 and 15 seconds, and you can make the AI or Vapi say one of these messages. Are you still there? Is there anything else you need help with? So you can, that's a really good feature to have. Again, any setting that you do need to be published to change effect, to take effect. Analysis. Summary. This is the prompt that's used to summarize the call. Output is stored in call analysis summary. You can also find summary in call logs page. Again, you are an expert note taker. You will be given a transcript of a call. Summarize the call in 2 to 3 sentences if applicable. Let's say if your client is a real estate agent, and for them they have to capture certain information can be highlighted in a prompt. Okay, you are an expert real estate agent. Your job is to find out whether this person is interested in selling. Instead of a generalized summary, you can add in a specialized prompt if you choose to do so. Again, there is success evaluation, structured data, data schema. All of these are relatively straightforward. You can read all about it in the front-end voice assistant. But once you are done, you can actually talk with this assistant. Okay, I need to allow the microphone.
Hello, this is Ava. How may I assist you today? Who am I speaking to?
I'm not sure if the system voice is enabled, but AI is actually speaking with me. I won't be engaging in the conversation, but this is how you would talk with an assistant that you just created on the front end, talk with an assistant. But if you want to share this with someone, let's say assistant demo, you copy this link and you will send it to whoever that wants to test it. And when they go to the link that you just copied, they can interact with this demo by clicking on this orb and allowing. And
Hello, this is Ava. How may I assist you today? Who am I speaking to?
hey Ava, this is Money. How are you?
Hello, Manny. It's Ava, actually. I'm doing well, thank you. How can I assist you today?
So as you can see, when I disconnect the call, if I go to call logs, I can see the conversation that I just had, and under the transcripts you can see, hey Eva, who am I speaking to? This is something that I added in the first message during the start of this tutorial. Hi Eva, this is Manny, how are you? And hello Manny, it's Ava. Actually, I'm doing well, thank you. How can I assist you today? So you can see the analysis page here. If you want specific, if you enter a specific prompt, a specialized prompt, it would all show up here. There are messages, a lot of data, useful data that you can check post call. Again, you can link this with phone number. Even when someone has a conversation, whether it's a demo link or a phone number conversation or a front end conversation, everything would show up here. Let's go back to assistant. Now that we understood most of the terms that are involved in building this static Vapi assistant, a basic static assistant, we will now go to a basic dynamic assistant, see how to build our HTTP request. Hey, I just wanted to share some exciting news. I've been working hard behind the scenes to create a community for AI agency owner, and this is here. In this community, I'll be sharing all the templates, systems, operations, and offers that have helped me scale my business to $25,000 a month. These are some of the templates that I'm giving out in just this 3-hour long tutorial. This has made me thousands, literally, and saved me hours of time, and it will definitely help you speed up your learning process. And this is just one resource that we are talking about. We still have other videos, other resources that we give out in the classroom section. If you look at Automation Founded, this is module 1 and module 2 is coming next week. We already have about 68 members now. I've documented my entire journey on YouTube here, and I want to help others achieve similar success. And if you're serious about taking your business to next level, I'd love for you to join AI Growth Creators. Link in the description down below. Now let's build our first basic dynamic assistant on Vapi. Now we will do this using make.com. It cannot be built using the front end UI that you see on Vapi. Once you log into the dashboard, you head on over to assistants. You will still be using all the options: the provider, the model, the knowledge base, max tokens, the system prompt, first message, transcriber, voice, tools, the advanced settings. All of this is available in the API reference also, and you will need an account on make.com and build your HTTP requests. So whenever you need to create a dynamic assistant, it's on the go. And whenever someone submits a form, whenever there is a trigger on make.com or any platform, it can be GoHighLevel also. Once there is a trigger, the action happens, which is creating a call, creating an assistant, getting a phone number, all of that fun stuff on the API side. But for basic dynamic assistant, we'll be working with a Google Sheet. Whenever we add a new row to the sheet, we will place a call with a basic dynamic assistant, and update the status as called. That's the idea. And like I said, we won't be using any of these assistant. We will create our own custom assistant using our own prompts, etc. Let's create an account on make.com and start building our dynamic assistant. Head on over to make.com, and if you don't have an account, you can get started for free. And if you do, all you need to do is log in, and you will get 1000 free automations per month when you sign up for make account. So it's really generous. You can have a lot of free operations if you are doing any kinds of demos. So let's go to scenarios. Let's create a new scenario. Let's say Google Sheets, and this is an instant trigger where perform a function. Okay, let's wait for a new row is added. This is watch new rows, triggers when a new row is added. Let's do watch new rows. When new row is added, let's create a new spreadsheet. I created one with the name Dynamic Assistant Demo, and the name with 3 headers, basically name, phone number, and status. Like I said, this is completely basic. I will select the file that I just created, Dynamic Assistant Demo, there. Okay, sheet name, sheet 1, table contains headers, yes, limit to, should be fine. Okay, since specific ID, let's say all. Okay, now we have a trigger that's running every 15 minutes. We can change it to 1 minute, we can change it to 60 minutes, or we can add advanced scheduling that it would only run during the business hours, so we are not randomly calling up people at midnight. So it's really important to have that scheduling in place, and your AI just doesn't start calling people whenever you update or add a list. So this is an important step. And once you have that Google Sheet, it's time to build our HTTP request, and you need to select make a request. And this is where we need to build our dynamic assistant, our Vapi assistant. To do that, you need to head on over to Vapi dashboard, and you click on this question icon and API documentation, and that should open a create call. Okay, this is embarrassing indeed. I have been trying to do this tutorial, and all morning Vapi has been giving me this error, the 500 server error. I don't want to postpone this video any longer. So what I did was, I already did a tutorial where I built this HTTP request. Let's watch that first, and we will use that same HTTP request for Google Sheets. I used Google Forms in that video, but I will show you how to have the same HTTP request and use it for Google Sheets. So for the next part is where we build the actual HTTP request, make a request, and this is where we build our dynamic assistant, and that's what we were building in here. So like I was showing you earlier, when you are in the Vapi dashboard, you need to click here and go to API documentation, and that will open these this interface, and you need to be working with this create call. This is not an in-depth tutorial like I was telling you, so if you have any questions, please wait 2 to 3 more days to get that in-depth tutorial which will make a lot of sense. If you are watching this video in future, it might already be on my channel, so please have a look. Now, how would you build this HTTP request? What we need to do is you need to work with body. You also need authorization, which is in your Vapi dashboard. You go to profile, not profile, you click on your email address and there is API keys, and you need to copy your private key. Copy this and you need to paste that in here, and that will populate this field. I won't be copying it here. If I do, I need to blur the whole thing, which I don't want to do it right now. So let's continue. Assistant ID. This is the assistant that we will be using for the call. To use transient assistant, use assistant instead. So what it's saying is, if we use assistant ID, we are basically using what we have in here. So this is the assistant ID. If you are copying this and using it there, you are just using this static assistant, which I don't want to do that. What we need to do instead is we need to work on this assistant object, and we would build this from scratch. So for transcriber, deepgram transcriber is the standard. So deepgram model Nova 2, and language for me it's English. Smart format. So anytime you have a question regarding whether I should be turning this off, turning this on, click hover on this I info button, or it's not actually a button, but you get the idea. So when you hover on it, it says this will be smart format option provided by deepgram. It's default disabled because it can sometimes format numbers as times sometimes, but it's getting better. So default is off, disabled, leave it disabled. So you can think of this, you can only go with what is absolutely necessary to achieve the functionality that we are looking for. So that's what I'm going to do now. I won't be concerned with, for example, tool calls. We are not doing any function calls, we are not doing any. So for those I won't be using at all. For example, this model, any scale model, Anthropic, Claude, I'll be using OpenAI for the LLM. Again, hover on this. These are the options for the assistance LLM. So it is really important. For messages, this is talking about the prompt, and this is the role. I'm calling it assistant. For the prompt, I have prepared. This is not something that I would use for the end for a client or anything. Something that I have built for demo purposes as an assistant for my agency. So I will be using this. Okay, come and see. If you want, you can do a quick screenshot of this for the prompt, but I would definitely recommend you improve this prompt a lot. So I have just copied the prompt and selected the role assistant. Now what else do we need? We need to select the actual model that we are going to use. We are not using tools or tool IDs. That will be covered in the future video. I'll be using model GPT-4o. A fallback model would be, let's say, GPT-4 provider conical. What is this? A knowledge base. We don't really have a knowledge base for this, and any option that you want to, I am only using that options that are really necessary. For example, the temperature the temperature does affect what you how your model performs. So I'm selecting it 0.3. But knowledge base, if you do want to add a knowledge base, I will show you in the future video. But you can always find a lot of Vapi videos on YouTube, so feel free to explore that. Max tokens, I don't want to include any, because if it's 0 max number of tokens that will be allowed. Default is 250, so let it be default. That's okay. Emotion recognition enabled. I want this, yes. Number of fast turns, okay. For voice, I really like LevelLabs voices. And input processing, pre-processing. So what does it do on default? It determines whether default true. Okay, yeah, I haven't used this before, but looks like it's useful. Okay, input formatting enabled. What is it by default? Default true. Okay, let's turn it on. Okay guys, I won't be doing much. No filler injection, I don't want that. Punctuation, boundaries, no. For providers, LevelLabs. For voice ID, I would strongly suggest you go to the front end and pick someone that is really good and copy their ID and paste it here. For me, I like this voice better than what I do with. Okay, let's use Sarah for this. Okay, speaker boost, optimize. Okay, you should only be concerned with these required signs. For example, LevelLabs Sarah is absolutely necessary for you to finish it. For others, you can go by default. For example, recording enabled, true, first message mode, assistant speaks first. These are the stuff that is important but not 100% required. They would be using default stuff, but yeah, give everything a read. And for client messages, if you want any, go ahead and do so. Server messages, I really like end of the call reports. That's where you can process a lot of info. You will basically get access to the transcript, and you can do a lot of stuff based on the info that you receive. So I think we pretty much covered most of the stuff. Two more important things that I would do before I finish this whole thing is, the first message is you can have something like, is this first name? The reason I included first name is we will actually in make.com we will remove this first name and use the field that user have answered, the user have provided in the form. So it would be, hey, is this money, or is this John, whatever the case may be. So voicemail detection, Twilio, what is voicemail detection types? Machine start maybe. Voicemail detection, I thought it was supposed to be enabled or disabled. For example, they have changed this setting from last I worked with. Voicemail detection, there is enabled or disabled. Instead of object, it was Boolean. I'm not sure they don't really have any other options, and it is a required field. So I will go ahead and select Twilio for now and see if any error comes up. I would just use it. Okay, end call message, I would say thank you. What I have seen happen with the voicemail message, if you have a message, go ahead and do so. If unspecified, it will hang up. Even though it says it will hang up, it did not happen for me. What the AI actually assumed the persona of what we prompted it to do and left a message to user even when I have no voicemail message. So I think it should be good. Okay, server URL. What server URL is referring to? You need to catch the webhook. So you need to create a new scenario, and in webhooks you need to do a custom webhook, create a webhook. For this webhook I'm calling it Vapi demo webhook, and save. Once I have this, I will copy the address to the clipboard and I go back to this assistant, and where is that server URL? And my server URL code, I did save it as 12345, but if you want to get yours, you need to go to Vapi, and under API keys, okay, not API keys, under settings you have the server URL secret. Edit it whatever you want. For mine I just selected 12345. So okay, now we are at almost at the end. Structured data schema. What is this? That's enforcer schema. Output is stored in disabled by default. So let me see what happens if I disable if I let it run by default, because I have the reference of what I've been using previously. I don't see all of this, so they have been updating a ton of stuff. We don't have a okay, I think we are assistant overrides. We're going to a section that is not really needed. Let me find a few more things where we need to add the phone number ID and stuff, and we should be good to go. This is some really long okay, knowledge base. Why are they repeating themselves? Filler injection. I see the overrides, but as this okay guys, okay, we have squads now. Wow, okay, this is, I haven't really worked with squads. I did play around with squads on the front end, but not really and this type. Okay, where is the phone number ID? Now there we have it, phone number ID. Where you would find a phone number ID is go to platform, you see the phone numbers, you copy the ID here, and you come back and paste the phone number ID. And fallback destination, I don't think it's needed. For customer, we need to add okay, customer ID. Now test number test, so that way it would show up in our request, where we will replace this fields from the Google form that we are going to capture. Now what you need to do, this bracket to this bracket here, you copy it and you paste it in the body type raw. And okay, wait, so first you need to the method itself is post in the body type raw, that's right, and the content type application JSON, and this is where you need to paste the whole thing. Okay, paste. Nice. Okay, 9 out of 10 times this is not going to work. Let me add in few more stuff and then we troubleshoot the whole thing. Okay, we need the API key for sure. API, sorry, not the API documentation. Let me close this. Okay, we copied that. Now we need to go to API keys, copy our private key, and go back to make.com where you are building your request, and in the headers we have authorization in the name, in the value bearer space your API key, and then you add in another header which is content type. I'm not doing something really anything new here or something that I am adding in on my own. You just need to add that authorization bearer space token, which is your API key, and the other header that you need to use is content type application JSON. And you also need this URL. Copy this URL, and so if you haven't realized yet, this is a post request, right? And this is the data, the raw data that we are using. We are exactly replicating what was already available there. So let's do one thing now. Okay, let me go to the name and say money, and for the number I want to use my actual phone number here, and okay, if the prompt is right it should work. Run this module only. Okay, error. See what is the error here. Okay, bad escaped character in JSON position. You can do a really long way where you go to a website, you see, you escape all the bad characters, you create new line characters /n. After every double quote you add in some new stuff. There is all kinds of crazy which will take a day or two. So what I like to do in this section is I go to my Claude and basically say, okay, rewrite this code to fix this error. Nothing fancy. If you can do a really good prompt to address this, but I am lazy and I see what the error is. I copy the error and just let Claude do his thing and give me an answer, so I can copy and paste the whole thing. Okay, I know that it's improperly escaped single quotes within JSON, but I don't know how to fix it, and it will take a ton of time. So it should have been fixed. I will just copy the whole thing and go to my HTTP request and select all, paste, and that should probably work. Run this module only, and I am receiving a call. Now this HTTP request is exactly what you have seen till so far. The first message is this first name, and the name itself Mani Kanasani, and the number is my personal phone number as well. So what we won't be covering in this basic tutorial is end of the call report, where we are using a different server URL to catch the webhook and posting it to the Airtable. So that part I won't be covering this in this basic one, but the functionality where the AI would call me by name will be shown for sure. Okay, to do that, let me first save this HTTP request. And right now our Google Sheet, if you look at it, it's really empty. We can say we can add money and okay, anyway, let's see if that works. And must be saved. Let's run this module only. And we have money and we have phone number. Now that we have the fields, it's time to edit what's in the name. We delete it and we use the first name that I have here. And for the number, I'm not seeing a +1 there, so I am leaving the plus as is. It will be different for your CRM, so let's leave the plus. And for the first message that we have here, I want to edit in is this first name. I want to change it to is this money, and let's see if this works. So anytime we have a new row, I don't think it would run, or okay, we have to add a new row, right? So what I would do is basically just copy this and add as a new row and run this again. And I should have received a call. Yes, I did.
Is this Monty?
Yes, it is.
Great. Hi, Monty. This is Kira from AI Growth Creators. How are you today?
Okay, as you can see, it is working, and it referred me by money, and I said yes. It called me Monty. Again, proper prompting is needed, but you see that dynamic assistant in action. Instead of is this first name, it's actually asking me is this money. Now what we can do is maybe add in a Google Sheet and update a row. For example, we just had a call with money myself, but if you are doing this for a client, let's say, and you want to update the status of the call, whether once it's done or once we placed a call, so latest row number, the row that just ran this Vapi call to, we made this HTTP request and everything, and for the status we'll say called. Now what happens is if we save it and run it again, see, we run, receiving a call again. I won't be speaking to it, but you will see a call being updated in the status. So now you know how to build a basic dynamic assistant on Vapi. Now you have seen how to connect a phone number in the phone number ID when you are building the HTTP request. Now what if you have a static assistant that is taking inbound calls for your local service business, that is appointment booking or frequently asked question, a customer service voice assistant that doesn't need to be dynamic, but you still need to link a phone number? How would you do that? That is covered in next section. Now we will discuss how to buy phone numbers or import phone numbers from Toolio and connect them to both for inbound and outbound static assistance. For dynamic assistance, it will be covered during the other chapters where we discuss and build our HTTP requests. That's when you connect your phone number IDs. But for static assistance, let's head on over to Vapi dashboard. This is what you see when you log in and go to phone numbers. And this is the phone number that I already bought from Vapi. It is $2 a month. You can start entering by area code and you can select from the numbers that it would suggest, or you can refresh, try new area code, or whichever you wish. But if you haven't added your credit card, it will ask you to add one, and once you do, you'll be charged $2 a month. And for those who want to import their phone number from, let's say, Twilio, you have to head on over to your Twilio account. And once you log in, this is the account dashboard. You just need to copy your Twilio phone number and back to Vapi, paste, and copy your auth token. Now auth token goes here, and Twilio SID is copy and paste. You can have a label if you want. This is an optional field, or I think Twilio import from Twilio. And that has imported my phone number from Twilio. And once you import a phone number or buy a phone number, it will be unlabeled. And you can select an inbound phone number. What this does is, whenever someone calls to this phone number, an assistant would be answering it. Let's try that right. 778-717-2239. And once I call this,
Hello, this is Ava. How may I assist you today?
so as you can see, now I just linked my phone number with an assistant Ava. But if you want to place a call to an outbound phone number using a different assistant, you can do that as well. For example, this is my phone number. So when I enter my phone number, which I entered wrong previously, and select an assistant to call me, if I place an outbound call, it will outbound call queued successfully and I am receiving a call. And once I answer it,
Hello, this is Ava. How may I assist you today? Who am I speaking to?
it's Ava again. That's how you would connect your phone numbers for an inbound call and place outbound calls from your UI. Let's discuss Vapi on a website. This is deploying your AI assistants on a website. But for this example, I'll be showing how to deploy a static assistant on a Webflow website. But the same process or similar process can be done with any no-code website. You just need to add in that code snippet, the HTML embed on your website, whether that's Wix, Squarespace. You can easily find tutorial on how to do it. It's straightforward. Let's head on over to our Vapi dashboard once again, and now we go to assistant. Let's see, we have created Ava recently in our first example. Let's deploy this into a Webflow website. The first step is you need to go to documentation, specifically web snippet section in the documentation. Don't worry, all the links will be available in the description below. If you have any question anytime, you can always ask AI and it will point you to where you can find this stuff. So steps for installation. This is a web snippet where there is a complete web SDK if you want to build a full-on UI for your assistant. That will be covered in future videos, but for this example it's more of how would you deploy your AI static voice assistant in a Webflow or a website where a button would be hovering on in the corner or whatever. So to do that, you need to copy this web snippet and go to your Webflow, or if it's Wix for you, or if it's a Squarespace, whatever, you log in to your website provider and open Designer. And once you're in, you go to the body tag. Right now I have a I already have a VoiceFlow chatbot deployed on my homepage. For that reason, I would deploy this in a different page. For example, in the Contact Us page, this is what we use in Contact Us, and any page for that matter. You go to this plus sign, add elements, and you find HTML embed or code embed in this add elements section. Once you click on code embed, you paste what you just copied, and you just need to change two elements here. The first one is the assistant ID. To get that, you go to your Vapi dashboard and find the assistant that you have created and want to link it here. Copy assistant ID, and you come back to Webflow. You change the assistant ID with a new one. And for the API key, your public API key is different from the private one. So API keys, go to public, copy public API key, and go to snippet, paste. Sorry, you need to go to your Webflow, paste it here, and you are done. Save and close. And if I publish this to the selected domain, if I go to my URL, once it's done, I should be able to see a button. Said okay, as you can see, there is a button hovering here. I mean, this is a bad position. We can definitely do much better than this, and it's not even letting me interact with this in any way. So let's change the button configuration so that it would let us interact with it. Let me go back to the web snippet and generate your assistant. We are not generating an assistant, we are using existing one. Here, button config, we can modify the button. There are a lot of, if you are familiar with HTML, CSS, this is a great, you can definitely customize this a lot. For this tutorial, I won't be doing that. I will just copy and use what they have already provided. I will go back to Webflow and let me edit this code snippet real quick and add button configuration. As you see how the button configuration is empty right now, I will just replace this with the button configuration that we just copied, and save and close, publish to selected domains, and that should update the button, which is previously a small circle that's hovering in the middle of the web page, which is not letting us interact with, at least some elements are blocking it. Now I should be, updating this, refreshing this page to see, nice, have a quick question, talk with our AI assistant. And once I click that, we have this beautiful looking blue connecting button. Once I give permission to use my microphone.
This is Ava. How may I assist you today? Who am I speaking to?
I'm not sure I turned on my system audio and it's recording, but Ava is actually speaking with me right now. So I will disconnect this call. But that is how you would link your assistant and add in button configuration. You can change the icons and all of that stuff in the web snippet, where we are using this phone SVG or pill shaped. We can use round shaped if we want a button pill or round. All kinds of customization is possible. So if you want to, you can have some amazing animations there, cool looking orbs or whatnot. So that concludes our section on Vapi on a website. Now we will build a dynamic assistant that is integrated with GoHighLevel CRM. So to keep this simple, I have added a form where when user fills the form, he would receive a call instantly. But we can program this in a way that if a user books a call, they will be added a tag, and call would only go out 1 hour before the actual call, so that the chances of them showing up is higher. We can apply this for a webinar or an in-person event, whatever the case may be. When the lead needs to be nurtured, we can use this kind of AI dynamic voice assistant within the funnel. So like I said, I will show you how to work this with a form on GoHighLevel, and also show you how to add manual tags so that it will trigger a phone call even without the form. It can be so that you can apply this stuff to phone calls, webinars, in-person events, whatever your use case is. So let's go to GoHighLevel. I assume you are already familiar with the platform. This is not the agency level, but this is more of a this is a sub account that I have, and I will go to sites. Under sites you see forms, go to builder. Again, for those of you who already are experienced in GoHighLevel, you don't really have to pay much attention. I created a simple lead form where I will SMS you email, will SMS or email you access. This is like a lead form for the Vapi demo, where we are capturing first name, email and phone number, and they agree to receive occasional emails, SMS and phone calls are important. Let's do that. So always get consent from people that you are contacting using voice assistants. So now that we have this form, let's go to make.com and build our scenario from scratch. To do that, you need to first go to dashboard. You click create a new scenario. Once you are in, you need to create a webhook, and it's a custom webhook. And create a webhook, and I'm naming it GHL Vapi demo webhook. So just so I would remember, save. Now I have this webhook, and now what I would do is in my GoHighLevel, I have this form which is lead form Vapi demo. Now I will go to automations, and once I'm in the automation, I will create a new workflow, and I will start from scratch. I will say, got it, add a new trigger which is, I will say, form submitted, and form, which form, add filters, filter the form is, select the form, lead form, Vapi demo, save trigger. So whenever a form is submitted, especially the lead form that we did previously is submitted, we will tag we will add a tag. Okay, now where is it? Add contact tag. Yes, under tags I would say Vapi demo. You can call it anything that you want. Add new tag, Vapi demo, and save action. Once we add a tag, we will call a webhook. Now this webhook is the webhook that we have in here. Copy the address to clipboard and you come back here and paste. Save action. Now to test this workflow, what I want to do is submit the form. Let me open GoHighLevel in a different window. Chill. Make sure I log in, and this is my agency dashboard. Go to sub account. Once I'm in the sub account, I will go to sites, forms, latest form, publish, preview. I have the widget. Now let me complete it. Under phone, I would say. Now I have submitted my form here. Now I did. Perfect. If I go back to my AI growth partners and look at the contacts here, it should have updated my tag. For example, if I look for myself, money, so if I look at the tag, it did not. Okay, page visited August 10th, that is right now. Lead form submitted, Vapi demo, and why didn't it add it? Why wasn't I tagged? The reason is I did not publish this. Okay, publish, save. Let me do this again. Form submission 78288030. I agree. Let's scale. Perfect. That should have updated my contact. Vapi demo, and let me refresh this page. So Vapi demo. Now the form itself is working correctly. Now we have to build out this integration. As you can see, successfully determined. If I click on this one, module is not set up, that's for sure. And the reason it said successfully determined is we triggered a call from for example, if you say run once, it will try to capture data. And when you test this workflow that you already have on your GoHighLevel, for example, test workflows. So if I select my own address and run test, it should be successful, and this is what I have received. Okay, all the stuff that I have in there, all the tags, all the phone numbers, all of this data, all of the fields that I have in the GoHighLevel is displayed in here. So I can do whatever I want basically from that info. Now we have already built HTTP requests from our previous scenarios. If you look at what we just built with the basic dynamic assistant, if you haven't done that yet, I would strongly suggest you go back and watch that tutorial. If I redo the stuff again and again, it would not bring you any value. So this is what I did previously. We were watching new rows and we are making HTTP requests. It's a call, Vapi dynamic assistant, and we are updating the rows. What I would do here is I will copy this module and I will bring this and paste it here. The only change that I would be doing, the API keys are same, the headers are same, all of that stuff is completely same. You can even use the same prompt that you did. For example, if this form is for a customer inquiry where they submitted a form on my landing page or a website, they can receive a call saying, hey, you submitted a form on growthcreators.ai. What would you like to know about our services? This is a really simple flow. I won't be discussing a lot on the prompt section. I will keep it as it is. What I want to change instead is, for the first message, I would say, is this money? Because you have all of this data coming from GoHighLevel, right? Is this money? Awesome. And then what I would want to change in these sections is I will change the name from first name. I would pick full name instead of my first name. You will know why I did that in the next part. But for now, select the full name, and for the phone number. And we will also change this by making a new scenario on Make to capture our end of the call reports. So that is, create a new scenario. You will create a new webhook that is a custom webhook. Create a webhook, and in here you say end of the call GHL webhook, whatever you wish. Now that we have this address, I will copy it, and you need to enter that here. Paste. I will still use the same phone number ID, but I don't really like this voice, so I will go back to my Vapi dashboard, and you see Ava. How you copy voice ID is, you have this voice ID, right? You can either try and copy this P stuff, or you can go to voice library for this is way easier. And if you know which voice you want to copy, you can just copy ID here, come back to the make and delete the name that you see here and paste the ID. And that's it on the changing the voice side of things. And now I believe we have something really good here. For the first message, we can say, is this first name? I see you submitted a form on our website, so that you would know that I'm not using the same thing. Let's click OK and run once. Now what needs to be happening here is someone has to submit a form, and only then this would be triggered. I want to change that in the next step, but for now let's go ahead and do it for again one last time. I agree. Scale. I should receive a phone call right now. Yes.
Is this Mani? I see you submitted a form on our website.
Yes, this is money.
Hi, Manny. This is Kira from AI Growth Creators. Thank you for reaching out to us. How can I assist you today?
Okay, so as you can see, this works, and this is not really much different from what I was building earlier, right? What I want to do in addition to what we have right now is I will not only capture the end of the call report, I will update the notes section with the transcript that we just the conversation transcript that we just had. I want to capture the recording URL in a field and also update the status that we talked to AI and find a way or show you a way on how to work this with other tags. It doesn't have to be a form. If you have to do it for a manual tag, this is how you would do it. You will need to go to the automation that you were building earlier, this workflow. Let me rename this to Vapi. Now, the trigger right now is someone submitting a form and they are being tagged and webhook is sent. We can add in a new trigger saying contact tag, add filter, tag added, and select a tag. You can call, say, Vapi manual. Vapi manual. When Vapi manual is added to a contact, it will then be tagged as Vapi demo and they will receive a call. Let's save the trigger and let me save this. I should learn from my mistakes and then go back to, not go back. You see how I have this tags already. I want to remove those tags first and refresh the page. And I also want to show you how I can, so when a manual tag is added, Vapi manual, it will also trigger the call now. So the call did not go through, and the reason for that is this scenario is not turned on and it will only run when it's when we hit run once. So that's why I haven't received a call, but that's okay. Let me build this on for let me build something on this so there is a way for us to track and update the end of the call reports and update the contact with all of this stuff, because this is the trickier part. I'm sure people have come up with a lot of better solutions for sure, but for me, I have found a way to make it work with Airtable or Google Sheets. In my previous video, I already talked about how to do end of the call reports on Airtable, so I want to show Google Sheets in this example. So we can add a new row and select Google Sheets. For this, I want to create a new sheet, new spreadsheet. I don't have one ready. We can call it GHL Vapi demo. Okay, we have name, phone, email, summary, maybe, URL, transcript. You don't really need all of this, so it's okay. If you do, that's great. If not, that's good too. I renamed this. Why did so? Now that we have this form, let's go back to our integration and keep working on it. Now we need to add a row. I will select the spreadsheet that we just created, Vapi demo, Vapi GHL demo, and the sheet name, sheet 1, name. I will enter the full name instead of my first name. Okay, for phone, I will enter my phone number, the email, summary. All of that will be captured in the next section. But for ID, there is this ID for each GoHighLevel contact. We need this to update the end of the call report. And I will also need to add a tag that they have been called or contacted. So let's do that in the next section. Now, in the new module, we have GoHighLevel. If you haven't connected your GoHighLevel to make.com yet, you will not see this. Once you select this GoHighLevel lead connector, you will be asked to log in, and make sure you give access to the sub account level, not the agency level. If you select agency level, it will give you an error. Update a contact, and it will ask you which contact. That ID is important. So we have an ID, right? What is the ID? Contact ID. And what we need to update is we need to remove our old tags and add a new tag. Essentially, I have a ton of tags and fields here. Please ignore that. Okay, tags. Now, instead of all the tags that you see, I will say called or Vapi called or something like that. Okay, now let me save this and run the process old data. That's perfect. Let me process the old data and see if I can receive a call. Yes, I did. Let me see what happens.
Is this Mani? I see you submitted a form on our website.
Yes, I did.
Great. Hi, Manny. This is Kira from AI Growth Creators.
Okay,
Thank you for
bye.
reaching out to us. How can I... Oh, I'm sorry to...
Okay, never mind. Let's see if it actually... Why did it not update these two yet? That's the mystery. Let me save. Run once. If it has it did update the whole thing. I just didn't see the numbers there. That's good. Now let's see what else do we still need to see that tag, right? If it should be removing these two and have a called tag for my contact. Let me refresh and take a look. Yeah, Vapi called. So that's how you build the first part of the automation. I can stop this, and since it's already on, we will not be missing any integrations. GoHighLevel. This is not only form submission. Now we have added manual tag, so you can easily replace that manual tag with anything, right? So there are a ton of applications for this. Now what happens after the call is done? Now that's where this end of the call report comes in. End of the call report, what we will do now is hit OK. And what does this have? Run this module only. And let's say we have a conversation with this guy, and I know the conversation that I had previously was really short, but there is a way to capture the transcript, the recording URL, and maybe we can include an AI to figure out, okay, what do they need? I have these services and they said this and this. What are all the possible opportunities that I can get? Okay, you can add a variety of large language models or assistance, chat completion, whatever in between the GoHighLevel update and your transcript. So you can process this data, you can use this data to do all kinds of stuff. So what I would like to do now is, now that we have a report from a call, we need to find that person who just finished speaking to our AI. And how do I do that, and where do I look? So there are two ways you can find who had a conversation just now with Vapi. Vapi end of the call report will have two fields for customer. One is name and one is number. And name and number, you can use these fields since it's full name. It's relatively easier to find people on GoHighLevel. But people that don't use GoHighLevel, or people that have a different CRM, let's say, or if they are not using a CRM at all, that's where stuff like Google Sheets or Airtable comes in. And that's why I use this as a workaround. There is definitely a better way, but this is how I would like to do it. I will now search for a row, search rows, and from search rows I will select the spreadsheet that we created for GoHighLevel just now. Vapi GoHighLevel demo. Okay, sheet name, sheet 1. Now this is the filter, the trickier part. So the formula to find a name is basically we look at the sheet and we have the name, right? And we also have full name on GoHighLevel. What I would do then is, you will still need data for this. For example, if I click here and name A, I should select name A. And if you look at this, there is a customer and there is a name and number. And you need to search by name, right? So name is equal to the name in the GoHighLevel. Sorry, the name that we captured on Google Sheets should be equal to the name that is in the webhook, and maximum number of return rows is 1, because we might have same person doing observation or same person doing these calls multiple times, and we will only return the latest results. That's why we use only 1. Okay, and let's test this, run once. And to make this work, I need to retag myself with manual, Vapi manual. Let me refresh this so it won't it will know when I tag myself. So let's go to tags, manual. I should have received a call. Yes, I did. Now,
Is this Mani? I
yes.
see you submitted a form on our website.
Yes, it is.
Hi, Manny. This is Kira from AI Growth Creators. Thank you for reaching out to us. How can I assist you today? Are you interested in learning?
Yes, I want to train my staff on latest AI technology. Can you guys do that?
Absolutely, Manny. We specialize in workforce training and transitioning to the latest AI technologies. We
Okay,
can provide
thank you.
comprehensive
Bye.
training programs. You're welcome, Manny. Thank you for your interest.
Okay, now the point for that is I need to capture the transcript. So let's go back to the webhook. Now it has the info. If you can look at the message, it has all the summary and all the conversation transcript of the conversation that we just had. Now in the Google Sheet also, if you look at the demo itself, we are not populating these fields just yet. The URL, the summary, these are all empty right now. What I want to do now, since we have the updated webhook, I will go ahead and populate these fields first. Go to next module, add a new module, Google Sheets, update a row. Which row, you ask? Select a file. Now go to Vapi GHL demo, sheet name, sheet 1. Row number is the row number that we just searched for, and in the summary section we have the summary. In the URL we have, not this summary, you have to go to this summary here, and the URL we have recording URL, and for the transcript we have the transcript. And ID we already have an ID. I don't want to update anything on that front. Now the ID here is really important. That's because we will now update our GoHighLevel also with what we just captured, and that includes the contact ID. We are capturing matching the ID from the Google Sheets, and first name, last name, date of birth, all of that stuff. We will then go to update a contact. We know which contact. We can add tag, let's say map, end of the call, report generated. You can definitely find better names for sure. End of the call, report generated. And I will add a note also. Add a note to the contact, and in the notes section, contact ID, map, was it contact ID? We already have previous contact ID, but I don't want to do that. Let's select the one that we have on the Google Sheet, and the body is the transcript of the call that we just received. And save it and run once. And I want to tag myself again to see how it works. Now I might have a different tag now, but let's see. If it's empty, I will tag myself manual. If not, I will Vapi called. Let me refresh that and select manual, and I should receive a call in about, once again.
Is this Mani?
Yes,
I see
it
you
is.
submitted a form on our website.
Okay. I want to build a chatbot.
Great. I'm glad you're interested in building a chatbot. My name is Kira from AI Growth Creators. Could you tell me a bit more about what you have in mind for your chatbot? For example, what specific tasks or functions do you want it to perform?
Okay. Now it should have updated. Let's see if it worked. Okay. You can see it going, doing its thing. Okay. Let's go back and see if it actually updated my notes section. Let's go to the notes. No, this is not the notes. Yes, okay, I want to build a chatbot. Great, I'm glad you're interested in building a chatbot. You see, we have captured the transcript. As you can see, we have captured the transcript. You can do much more interesting stuff. For example, you can add in a module here, and this can be Open AI's chat completion prompt. And you can, for example, if you have a message like 4.0 for system message, you can say something like, something along these lines. You are an AI that helps me extract opportunities for my AI agency. You will receive a transcript that user had a conversation with our AI, and your job is to identify what services that they are looking for, and you can provide them with the transcript. And once you save it, you can, for max tokens, I would like to enter this as 0, just because it will use any number of tokens necessary. And you can capture one of those responses in the rows of your Google Sheet, which can be in H. You can capture the result from this section, from this module, that is. And you can also update that in the field. You can create a new tag, or you can create a new field itself to update the section, the opportunity section. You can create a new section called opportunities. Okay, these are all the opportunities that we can help this particular client with. Or best yet, you can send a Gmail, for example, send an email, and in the email address you can have this person who just had conversation with the AI, and in the content you can say, this is the summary of I actually talked about this in my previous video. You can create an email, or you can subscribe them to an email sequence, like subscribe them to an email sequence on a ConvertKit or Active Campaign. You can do a lot of things with this once you have the end of the call report and what type of action that they want to perform once they submit this form. And that concludes our presentation with GoHighLevel. A form is submitted. You see form submission triggers a phone call, or a manual tag triggers a phone call. So this manual tag can be anything, as you can see, and it doesn't have to be manual tag. Instead of this webhook here, you can remove this and place Airtable here, or Google Sheets, or wherever, Typeform, Google Form, whatever the case may be, and these leads will end up in GoHighLevel. I am showing this integration because we have built the exact solution for $5,000 for a client. This is well worth the money if you add in some more data processing, some more insights for your clients. And these templates will be posted in my school group, AI Growth Creators. I've already shown you how to build it. So if you want to learn more on if you want to get these templates, the prompts that I'm using, and some extra automations that I added to this flow, you can check out my school, AI Growth Creators, and you can find the free school also in the link in the description down below. Let's talk about Vapi tools. They used to have functions, but they're deprecated now. They are totally using Vapi tools. Initially, when I started this video, the plan was to make an appointment setting a Vapi tool where you would be able to find the time or book the availability, but there are already a lot of tutorials, really good tutorials covering that on YouTube. So I wanted to make something that I have done in the past. If you watched my voice flow video, I did something called order tracking chatbot for an e-commerce store. I thought if I can use the same table and build a Vapi tool that can, when a user calls, it can find out their order number, and based off of that, it can look up this Airtable and, okay, hey money, your sunscreen is in transit. So that's what we are trying to make it say when we give it the order number 456. Now, how do we do that? I will link this tool calling below. It's really easy once you know what you're doing. Most of the stuff is done on the front end. Let me create a new assistant, blank assistant, really basic, naming it Sophie, blank template, create assistant. If you want to know how I do my prompts, I will share a supplement document in my school community, but I am planning to make a meta prompting video that the framework that I would use to come up with all of my prompts next week. So subscribe if you don't want to miss it. First message. Okay, I said, welcome to Vapi eStore. What is your order number? I don't want to make any complicated prompt, long prompt like I did in my previous tutorials. I would say something along the lines of, now you can make this really fancy, and no e-commerce assistant should only have one tool or two tools that it can access. I would build them a squad, one for cart abandonment, one for product recommendation, one for order tracking. I can do a whole video on that, but to explain what tools is, how to look up Airtable and get responses from them, I selected something really simple here. So the prompt, you are an AI assistant that helps users track their online orders. Your instructions: get order number, look up database, give them the details. That's it. Publish. GPT-3.5 Turbo, let's say 4.0 would be better for the task. And voice, I will select 11 labs and yeah, Bria. Okay, publish. Now we have Sophie here and we can talk to the assistant and nothing would happen. What you need to do is you have to go to tools and you need to build a new tool, and you will need a server URL for that. Let's go to make.com and create a new scenario, and we will make a webhook, custom webhook, and I will create a webhook. I will call it Vapi Ecom demo. Okay, Vapi Ecom demo webhook, save and copy address to clipboard. Let me go back. Server URL, paste. It should be a custom tool, and secret 1 2 3 4 5. Save. Changes have been saved. Next. Did it update? Okay, no, it haven't. We haven't done anything. Now my recorder failed at this point. What you need to do is, when you create a new tool, we have entered our server URL. I will copy a server URL, one we already have, and show you once we enter the server URL here and secret. we save it, next, and the property name is the order. We are order, order is enough, is get order number. And once we save it, it will ask for the tool name. We can give it a name and description and hit create. That's how I created this tool, get order info. The property is order, the user's order number, and the tool name is get order info. We will check the database for existing order number. These are the 2 steps that you need to follow, and once you hit create, you just need to save it. And we need to let our assistant basically know that we have a tool that she should be concerned about. Go to functions, select the tool that we just created, get order info, and publish these results. Let's go back to make.com, and it's still running, I guess. Let's do this. Run once, scenario is saved, tool calling. We'll need that for the future. Talk with assistant.
Hello, this is Mary from Mary's Dental. How can I assist you today?
Hey, Mary. I picked
think you
the
may
wrong
have the wrong
assistant.
number.
Sorry. It's supposed to be Sophie. Did I have the tool right? Advanced, sorry. Functions, select tool, get order info, publish. Yeah, now we talk with the assistant.
Welcome to Vapi store. What is your order number?
It's 456.
Here are the details for your order. Successfully retrieved. If you need more information or have any other questions, feel free to ask.
You did not successfully retrieve, but we did. The message and the tool calls, one function, arguments, order 456. This is what we need. Now we need to look up our Airtable, and let's do search records. I already added my Airtable connection. If you don't know how to do this, watch my previous video. I will walk you through step by step on how to find. I will link that where you can create the personal access token in the URL down below, in the description down below. If you have any questions, you can join my free school and get additional help. Now you will add your Airtable connection, and the base is order tracking. In the order tracking, you select the table sample orders and formula. The view, you don't have to be concerned about that. Order number. For the formula, what I would like to do is copy this order number and formula. Basically, we need to say something like find where we need to search these rows to find an item. For example, the order number. In this case, order number equals to the string that we received earlier. Tool calls, tool call ID, function, arguments, order. Yes. Now once we have, this is a property that we specified earlier, and we would only limit this to one result. And hit OK. Let me run this module only, and tool calls add it. Wow, this takes all of this. Let me that I will let AI take care of it. Let me talk to the assistant.
Welcome to Vapi store. What is your order number?
456.
I found the details for your order number.
Okay, now it's making stuff up. So let's go back. Total number of bundles, 1, bundle order position 1. This is great. We found an order number 456. That's a good thing. What we need to do is now fetch this info. And okay, there are two cases that we need to consider right now. There is a case that it actually finds the order number, and there is a case it might have heard the order wrong, or it might cannot find the order at all. So in that case, we need to add a router here, flow control router. And the first response is a webhook response where it goes, okay, this is where we need to refer the nodes here. I will link this below for tool calling. This is the server response, and you need to have this in the body of the make scenario. And for the tool call ID, you need to make sure you enter under tool calls the ID. This is it. But for the result, you can be as creative as you want. If we do find the order number, hey name, this would be our product name, is this would be the order status. So let's find those fields right now. Hey money, I need to find my name. Okay, so I did something, I missed something earlier. In the output fields, we need to select all the fields that should be returned into the webhook. So what I would now do is, let's see if it populates. It didn't. What I will do now is run this once, this module only. Okay, we got the order number is empty. We still got something, but all I need is structure though. The name, hey name, your product name, product is status. That's what we need if we found the order. And how do we define it? We have to set up a filter that says found, and the condition for that is total number of bundles equals to 1. And second one, set up a filter, label none. Condition would be number of bundles equals to 0. Okay, and the webhook response, as usual, should be this. Command C. We'll paste that here, or I can say sorry, I didn't find your order, please email support. Okay, let's try this. Save, run once. Let's talk to our assistant.
Welcome to Vapi store. Do you want to track your order?
Yes.
Great. Please provide your order number.
456.
Give me a moment. Hey Mani, your product sunscreen is currently in transit. If you need any more information or assistance, feel free to ask.
Awesome. Can you check one more order, please?
Of course. Please provide the order number for the additional order you'd like to check.
768.
This'll just take a sec. I'm sorry, but I couldn't find any information for order number 768. Please email our support.
That's how it works, guys. So I will do a dedicated video on tools and advanced tutorial in the future, but this definitely covers the basics for sure. We finished Vapi tools. Now we are on to social media, which is all about content generation systems using Vapi. I really love this tutorial, this project, because the possibilities here are literally endless. You can have AI, have a conversation with AI where you'd be able to customize what the AI needs to ask you. It can ask you probing questions. It can offer different perspective. It can offer, if you want to generate a viral hook or follow certain framework and create content, it will ask you and guide you through the conversation. Once you answer that, it will refine that idea, and once we have this transcript, it is sent over to different large language models to further process this and generate something really great. And I am excited to get this started. We have a static assistant for this, and I am calling this Soma for social media, and this is the prompt that I have used. I don't want to read the whole thing. This prompt will be available in AI Growth Creator School, and also I will be sharing the framework in the video that I'm going to post next week, which is meta prompting. You will know, you can see all of the prompts that I have been using today were done using that framework. So what this AI assistant does is basically ask me probing questions to bring out the best possible conversation, and from there we use that transcript and send it to make.com to process and create LinkedIn posts, Twitter posts, Facebook posts, or whichever we want. So you need to change a couple of settings here in order to do that. First is voice. You don't have to change. This is my personal preference, and there is nothing else that you need to change in the voice section. If you go to functions here, there is this predefined functions. I haven't covered this in the basic section, but enable end call function. You have seen end of the call reports being generated in dynamic assistant. That is really important feature to have to do a lot of things. So for static assistance, you can enable that here, and you can also set that in advanced section. I haven't even discussed dial keypad option in the basics video. What does dial keypad mean? You know how when you receive a call from a business, it would say something along the lines of, if you want this, press 1. If you want that, press 2. That is the dial keypad option. We don't really need that for this assistant or most of the assistant that we build. And custom functions, again, this is deprecated. And the advanced section is where we set end of the call report if you missed turning this on at function stage. Now this is where you need to have your server URL. To get this, you need to go to make.com, create new scenario and a new webhook, a custom webhook. I will add a webhook, and it would be social media demo. So for this webhook, you copy the address and you paste it here, and for the URL you enter your secret. Once you do that, you will publish it, and I will connect and disconnect the call.
Hi there,
just
I'm
so
Toma.
I can get this successfully determined. Once I have that, what I would do next is I would use an AI to extract the main points. For this, I'm using OpenAI GPT-4. This is pretty straightforward. You just have to log in if you're doing this for the first time, So message an assistant if you are building assistants on API. If you are using Assistants API and you have an assistant that you would like to use with all the knowledge base files and etc., you do that. For our example, I'm doing a create a chat completion, and this is the prompt that I want to use. This would be for extracting the main points, which says something. Again, this is not perfect, something that I came up with on the go. And add message, role, user. And there are a lot of social media automations that are available in the market today. So if you watch any video on YouTube, there are a ton of social media automations. Okay, now you see we don't have much under transcript. That's because I haven't had a proper conversation. Let me do that. Max tokens 0. That way you can limit on the model will be used. Perfect. Save it. Run once. Let's have a conversation with Soma.
Hi there, I'm Soma. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with today, and what's on your mind?
Hey Soma, I just created an AI on make.com and I want to test it.
That's exciting. It sounds like you've made a significant step in your project. Could you tell me more about the AI you created? What specific features or capabilities does it have?
This should be enough. So if we go back and actually see, we have a bit of result here now, which should, if we look at this, at the message, okay, call, there is artifact, messages, what, use existing data. What do you have in the message? Call. Where is the transcript though? Okay. Okay, we are getting a status update. What we need instead is, let me go back and see if we have end of the call repeat. Hang, function call, delete that, delete that, delete that. I just need server messages. Let's publish this and run this again. Run bonds, use existing data. Okay, do we have a transcript? Yes, we do. Okay, hi there, I'm Soma, and what we are basically doing is extracting the main points from the conversation that can be used as social posts. Once we have that, I will then go ahead and create an Airtable. This is a sample Airtable I made. Nothing fancy is going on. AI main points in one section, LinkedIn posts, Twitter posts, Facebook posts, and yeah, and the status is whether I want to approve or decline or hold for review, kind of almost. We can further link this to another automation where once the status is approved, we can go ahead and post it to a respective social media, whether that's LinkedIn or whatever. So we create a record. We go to the Airtable. The base that we selected is Vapi social media, and table 1, and AI main points is the result from this guy here. Now I need to save this. Okay, now what happens after you extracted the main points? Obviously you'd need to create posts for Facebook, Instagram, all of that stuff. So I will add in a router here, and this would be an AI for, I don't know, LinkedIn. And Claude Sonnet is amazing when it comes to content creation. So for max tokens, I will say 1000. That should be good. And for add message, this is what needs to be done. You have to select the role of the user, and you have to select the content, then type text, and in the text section you add in the whole prompt that you want to add. Again, this prompt will be found in the school, but also we will cover that in the near future in my meta prompting video. So this should be done. And for this is the LinkedIn guy. For the other one, we can do the same Anthropic Claude and have again maybe 1000 for this. For tweets, instead of now again we have the user. For the content, we have text, and in the text we have the whole prompt. For social media expert content writer, and create one concise tweet for each of the important points below. Once we have both of that, we will update the Airtable, update a record. Which record? First we have to select a base, Vapi social media, table 1, and we have the record ID is this, and the LinkedIn is the text response. Now similarly we have to save it first. Let me clone this and add this here. Let me rename this so there is a consistency. Twitter guy. Now in this Airtable we have text response from the Twitter guy. And now I will save it, run once. Let's have a conversation with Soma.
Hi there, I'm Soma. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with today, and what's on your mind?
This is Money, and I want to
here
create a social media post.
That's a great idea. What message or theme are you looking to convey in your social media post? Let's explore your thoughts on that.
Why you should implement AI in your business in 2024.
That's an intriguing topic. There are many potential angles to approach the benefits of implementing AI in business for 2024. To help you articulate your ideas, could you share a few key points or benefits you think are most important? For example, are you considering aspects like efficiency, cost savings, customer experience, or innovation?
First three, not the innovation, but significant cost savings, increased operational efficiency, and saving a lot of customer service hours.
Excellent points. Let's break those down a bit further. 1. How do you envision AI contributing to cost savings? Are there
Now, if I disconnect the call midway, so we will still have that context and it's running. We will extract some main points. LinkedIn guy will be creating his LinkedIn post, and the Twitter guy will create his Twitter post. And if we go to the social media, you can see the LinkedIn posts here. Businesses implement AI into watch your cost plummet. Savings are too significant to ignore. Boost your operational efficiency. Again, this is not really prompted right, and the tweets didn't even show up, so there might be something going on in the prompt. But as you can see, it worked for this one, and prompts need to be updated so that again it is updating the LinkedIn. So probably this first post, which should be really long, is being replaced by the short tweet section. So that was not done right. The text response should go here, and that is perfect. We can build upon this one with a post approval system, and basically every time you go to status and hit approved, it will be posted to your social media. I mean, of course you'd be editing it before you post it, but this would be Vapi social media. social media automation. And that concludes this presentation. Let's discuss about AI call centers. When I say AI call centers, it is Vapi squads. I don't want to build a set of 3 different AI assistants. Now, if you are following along the path, the first one we did basic assistants, both static, dynamic. Second one we talked about phone numbers, how to link them. We deployed Vapi on a website. Then we talked about lead nurture, dynamic assistant that is integrated with GoHighLevel. And then we talked about order tracking, a voice assistant that is deployed on e-commerce store, which has access to the Airtable database, which can track your order and give you status. And then we talked about social media. We learned how to make social media voice assistants. And now it's time for the final chapter of this long course, AI call centers, Vapi squads. I will create one new assistant as a squad leader, and I will have one sub assistant that I created in the order tracking tutorial, which will be when I say that I need to track my order, the squad leader will transfer the call to that order tracking agent, and when I give that agent my order number, it will track the order. And I realized when I was making this tutorial, I haven't really covered the knowledge base on how that works. So for that reason, let me create a new assistant. It will be a blank assistant. I will be calling this V, just V. And we will create this assistant, the blank one. And I was talking to Claude to prepare a prompt for me that V is a customer service AI for Vapi AI robot store, a futuristic store where they sell robots in 2060. So we have that, and so it will say welcome message would be welcome to Vapi Robo Store. And for this I want to add a knowledge base where I also prepared a hypothetical knowledge base for a set of 15 questions where would be asking what is Vapi AI Robo Store, and it will give me an answer. Or do you offer, what kind of delivery do you do? It should be answered something along these lines. So how do I add a knowledge base? You go to files here, choose file, and I will update a file from the frequently asked questions that I just created. Now it is added. If I go to the assistant in the advanced section, in the model you can select the knowledge base. It should have been updated by now. Let me refresh that so it shows. Okay, something is wrong. Choose file, select file, open, upload file. Now it will. Okay, we have the frequently asked questions from 2060. If we go back to assistants now and go to V and knowledge base, we see the robot store frequently asked questions, and I want to select GPT-4o, not mini, 4o cluster. And for voice, I don't really like Cartesia. 11 labs should be good, and I will select this voice and publish. Now this is supposed to be a squad leader, but I want to test. We can test it once we are in the squad. So let's go to squads, and for the first assistant, when you open squads, this is what you would see: an empty page that should read create a squad. Okay, Okay, new squad. This is how you do it. New squad, first member. Let's select V. Where is V? Where are you, V? V. Create squad. Now V is the first assistant, kind of like a squad leader. And now we will add one more to this squad. So destination settings, model settings, GPT. Now when you hit this plus, you will see a new assistant. We have created Sophie earlier to track our orders. Now if we look at Sophie, those who haven't followed the tutorial, Sophie is our order tracking AI assistant on Vapi e-commerce store, and this is the order tracking table that we have. Now I added a new order number 666, and the product is Android 22, and money as the name of the customer, and the status is in transit. This is what I want to test once the call is transferred to this assistant. So this is like a sub assistant. Now you can add in more assistants here and set rules so that it only transfers. So the destination settings, Sophie, model settings, let's say for cluster, first message, save. Now let's try and talk to the squad.
Welcome to Vapi Robo Store.
Hey, I have a question.
Hello. Hi there. I'd be happy to help. What's your question?
How do you deliver your products?
Yes, we offer specialized drone delivery for our smaller robot models. Larger units are delivered via our secure teleportation service to ensure safe and prompt arrival.
Can I use crypto to purchase your robots?
Absolutely. We accept all major cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, and RoboCoin. We also support direct neural link payments for those with compatible implants.
Can I track my order, please?
Sure. You can track your order by logging into your account on our website or mobile app. If you need further assistance, I can connect you with a specialist who can help you track your order.
Yes, please.
Would you like me to do that? Transferring the call now.
Welcome to Vapi Store. Do you want to track your order?
Yes.
Please provide me with your order number so that I can assist you in tracking your order.
666.
Give me a moment. Your order number 666 for the Android 22 has been located and it is currently in transit. If you have any further questions or need assistance with anything else, feel free to ask.
That'd be all. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So that is how you build a squad, and this is great when your client has multiple locations, or even if you're building almost a sales team kind of squad where one assistant is in charge for appointment booking, one is for qualifying prospects, one is specialized in sales. So you can actually divide the responsibilities between these assistants and assign a squad leader so that these requests are routed to different AIs that specialize in their tasks, as opposed to trying to cram everything in one prompt under one AI and making it so complex. There you have it. That concludes this long Vapi course. And if you are learning about chatbots, or if you want to learn about chatbots, watch my voice flow video next. I cover 4 different chatbots, basic to advanced, with multiple integrations. I'll see you there.